Hey guys, Elizabeth Quinn here again with Elizabeth's Scenes and Scents. Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to check out my website, which is waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us, where I am Liz Quinn, your lead Scentsy consultant. So today I have for you my weekly What I Have Been Warming video. Had a whole bunch of goodies that I've been getting through here on my table, and all sorts of seasons too. I think I've done everything except for winter, so let's just dive right on in. First off, I do have a couple of our new releases that I was warming in the house. I like to do alternate warmers or alternate rooms of these two. The first one is the wonderful and very powerful Mango Matcha, which I have been enjoying this last couple weeks. This is such a good bar. This has a really juicy fruity mango, a little bit of saltiness and cucumber, and a bit of matcha powder. And it's just such a good bar. It throws very well, it's very happy, it is very summery, and I think it's one of our best of the 10 new releases that we've had this spring-summer season. And then another one that I like to pair with it, but in smaller doses, is Banana Leaf and Bamboo. This is kind of a green and earthy scent, but it has a little bit of white peach in it and a little bit of mahogany. So there is a sweetness and an earthiness and a groundedness all at the same time, and I really, really like this against the sweeter, more bright mango matcha. They are very good together. And then I did another round of this new mix that I have found. The Bar Beach that we've been talking about almost endlessly when it comes to bring back my bar is really heavy duty, with the papaya and the honeydew and the coconut. A lot of people love this. I struggle with it just straight because it's so strong, but as I have repeated last week, but I enjoy doing it again, I mixed it with big chunks of my brick of Beach Daisy. And actually, yeah, I have this one started to be chopped up here. So what a lot of us do when it comes to dealing with the brick is that we chop it up ahead of time. Now for most of my bricks, my chunks would be smaller than this. I'll show that a little bit more carefully. But Beach Daisy for me does not throw terribly well. So this has really nice light green apple, a lot of honeydew, and a little bit of daisies on the beach side. It's super sweet, but it's very light to the point where I have trouble smelling it. But half a cube of half a cube of beach to a big chunk of the Beach Daisy brick is wonderful. And then later on in the day, as things were kind of petering out, I threw in a little bit more of the chunks of beach, and it just kept going all day long, tamed that whatever it is note, I think it's the papaya that we're blaming, in beach that gets way out of control, and it was really, really nice. So I have another bar of that beach, and I've got another whole brick of Beach Daisy, and I will be enjoying both of those together for sure all summer long. So then, this is a very strange combination, but somehow it worked. The other day, in this front room, I threw in a whole bar of Camu Camu, which is a lovely, lovely summer scent. I think this has mandarin and passion fruit. It is a very light, beachy, tropical. It's fruity, but it's got a little bit of like a floral, and it is kind of a mysterious smell to describe. If you haven't tried Camu Camu, I would definitely put it up there on your list, maybe with Havana Cabana and Pina Colada Cha Cha, like the absolute summertime trio. And Skinny Dippin' is really good too. I always forget that because I have it in a brick. I should really throw some of that out in my basement this week, whatever. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Skinny Dippin' should go in my basement this week because in a brick, I forget about it. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the other two things that I paired with that farther back in the house, odd combo, but it worked. A few cubes of vanilla oud. Oddly enough, I was just in the mood for something more earthy. More of the things I wanted to do this week kind of bordered on fall because I'm getting a little bored of my summer stuff, and the weather was just moody and really called for more warmth and cuddliness than your typical springy, summery, sunshiny day. So, the Vanilla Oud is one of those classic bars that if you were lucky enough to get it in your club the last time it was available for BBMB, which was a while ago, I've just kept mine in there. It's got leather, it's got oud wood and vanilla. It is so smooth and subtle, and it was just really good. And I was trying to pair that mostly with the Air of Adventure Mandalorian, which is more of like a green and earthy scent, and it was really nice against the Vanilla Oud. Why on earth I want a Camu Camu out in the front room to tie those together, I don't know. It worked, it was weird, but I loved it. I think it's because there is orange in this and the mandarin in the Camu Camu. Somehow they were okay together. But this is just green and is gardeny, but in the nicest way. It's got silver mint and geranium and the orange and so many good things in it. Very unusual and unique bar, that one. So then another day I really wanted to do the cinnamon and the apple, and I did finally commit to the mix of Churro Churro, which is very famous, with apple butter frosting. This pairing is supposed to be like Powerhouse on steroids of the cinnamon, the apple, and the creamy frosting, and it worked. It was very, very good. So I did just 1 cube to 1 cube in this warmer and the warmer over there. I had a different warmer up here. Right now I'm using the Twine to Unwind, which is just super cute. But for weeks, I have been using my, what is that one? The Coastal Light. And the Coastal Light does throw a little bit better than this one. This is not my best performer, but it's so cute. And with other warmers in the room, I don't care. I think that looks just like a coconut, don't you? Anyway, this pairing in my Coastal Light warmer, and then I have the seagrass basket over here, sweetgrass basket. I guess this is just going to be my day where I say what I think I'm supposed to say, but it's not quite right. This was amazing, you guys. I loved it. It was just perfect. Yes, it smelled like fall. I was definitely pushing the envelope a little bit, but these are great together. So if you can't get apple butter frosting, you could probably mix churro churro with something vanilla. And then in other warmers, I did have going baked apple pie. And you might even be able to mix churro churro and baked apple pie, but baked apple pie is pretty strong. Whereas the apple butter frosting, even though it's a strong scent, there's a creaminess to it that was really good with the churro churro. But oh, it was such a happy day because I am a bakery and spice girl at heart. So the baked apple pie was going in the Florida room, and the churro churro and apple butter frosting mix was going in the rest of the house. And it was all good and strong because most of the time the summer smells, in the morning, I love them. In the afternoon, they're okay. And by evening, I'm really happy that tomorrow I'm going to change all my wax because I can't necessarily smell a lot of the spring and summer scents for as long because they don't have those woody and spicy base notes as the sort of bar that I'm personally the most fond of. So another day, this is kind of like all things that were going at weird times because I would get sick of something and just clean out the warmer halfway through. So I threw some Simply Vanilla in a lot of different warmers over a couple of days just to smooth things out. And this is such a good bar, you guys. If you have it in your club, or Vanilla Cream, which is similar, they're just the best. And I guess going back to the churro churro thing, if you don't have apple butter frosting, it isn't really going to give you the spicy part, but you could probably do churro churro and vanilla cream, or churro churro, vanilla cream, and maybe even cinnamon vanilla, and get a really nice frosting, spicy bakery smell. It's just you wouldn't have the apple. But Simply Vanilla is the most delicate of all of our creamy vanilla scents, and it is more floral, more perfumey than it is a bakery smell. So nice, and it was just a great supporting actor with all the things I had going. So good. So then yesterday I had the weird combination with the Camu Camu and the Air of Adventure and the Vanilla Oud, and partway through the day it started to rain really hard, and one of my kids was just in this mood for something fall. So I took a lot of things out of warmers and put in a whole bunch of Mandarin Moon, pretty much just for the afternoon. Oh, is this good, you guys? This is a spice scent that, although it is a fall smell, it's also just very classic because it has the mandarin orange, really nice harvest spices, and to me it reminds me of a Constant Comment tea. It reminds me of just a classic potpourri or a classic candle. And I could and do melt this all year. So I had a really, really nice time hanging out with this in a couple of warmers yesterday. It's a good, strong, long-lasting bar. Really, really good. So then another day, which again, everything is just kind of blending and blurring for me this week with all the other things we had going on. At one point, something died in the front room, and I needed a new smell about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I grabbed some melon and apple granita because I had just a few cubes left. This was a January BB&B this last January. And this smells an awful lot like a watermelon or a cantaloupe icy type smell. It's very good. And it's something that I enjoyed, but not enough to like stock up on a bunch of bars. This is my only one, which was from my kit. So I enjoyed that for the afternoon. It lifted whatever else was going in the house and made it fruity and juicy and very nice. But it's not something where I'm going to cry that it was my last bar. So, I had a day where I really, really wanted coconut. And I have been saving these two to pair together. Kukui and coconut was going all through my front room here. Lots of cubes and into the dining room. This is currently in the catalog, and it is a fantastic suntan oil and nut coconutty summer smell. It's got some floral in it too, but mostly what I get is this just delicious, nutty bronzer suntan oil, and it's kind of medium at best, so you have to baby it. And then in the back room I did a whole bunch of coconut palm, and these two were perfect together, which is why I bought quite a few of coconut palm. I didn't keep it in my club, but this one's a little muskier. It's got a little bit more earthiness because of the patchouli, and they were both really, really good. That was a hot day and it was sunny. Summer coconut, just beachy scents. It was fabulous. So then another day I wanted to do more of the fruity and floral type thing that you think of for summer. So I put in a few cubes of Soak and Raise, which is in our current catalog. Now, there are quite a few white floral suntan scents that we have had coming and going out of the catalog and in different collections over the last couple of years. The Soak and Raise I was very, very excited about when we got this as a spring summer in the catalog scent, because they had taken out Lush Gardenia. If I could choose between Lush Gardenia and Soak and Raise, Lush Gardenia is stronger, it is more classic. I think it's better all the way through spring, summer. This is a little bit sharper, and it does have almost like a pollen note, is the only way I can describe it now that I have melted it quite a bit. I know a lot of people are very averse to it. I still like it a lot, but I do understand that there is a sharpness to this that people aren't caring for, and I am picking that up, and I do get it. So if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose Lush Gardenia. But in the running also, just kind of in this group, I kept Tiare and Coconut in my club from last August's Island Days collection. I think that is probably my favorite of these three, and then we can also kind of throw in Soft Plumeria, which is another powerhouse summer beachy floral. And of all of the four, Lush Gardenia is the most classic, and it is in my club. Tiare and Coconut is in my bi-monthly club, and my mom likes it too, so I'm sharing that with her. But sometimes when I go over to my mom's house or when I melt Tiare and Coconut here, I think it's Lush Gardenia. So if you have the chance to get your hands on either of those two, and that is the type of smell that you like, I think they're pretty interchangeable. And then the Soft Plumeria, I'm getting a stockpile of, and I think I'm going to leave it in my club because it's just enough different than these other three. But it's still a beautiful beachy floral, and it's a little bit more pink, if I can put it that way, although I know that it's a yellow packaging and it's a yellow wax, but it just has this lushness, this roundedness that the others don't. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole there with the wax pores style little thing, but Soak and Raise is good. But now that I have melted it and compared it to all the others that are similar, I think that currently we can still get the Soft Plumeria. I would choose that over the Soak and Raise for the long haul, just FYI. All right, what else was I doing that same day? The Mango Margarita from our Old Scentspirations collection from like late winter. This is so good, and it's juicy and fruity, and it did play very well with the Soak and Raise. They're different, but they balanced each other because there's that little bit of sharpness in Soak and Raise that needs kind of a check. It needs to be checked. And then Paradise Petals was last year's similar scent to Soak and Raise. They are a lot alike. I would say this one maybe comes out a little bit more on top for me now that they've aged, and all of these bars, I can slowly enjoy them in my house. Because this has this little bit of orange zest, whereas the Soak and Raise has a sharper, I think it's like a mandarin that's in it. This one's a little bit more friendly in the long run. Now, I will enjoy all of them. I will probably still buy more Soak and Raise, but I have had a lot of interesting feedback about that specific scent on my channel and with my customers over time, so I thought it was worth kind of unpacking that a little bit here to talk about it. All right, so then two other things that were just randomly going at different times. Some Tropic Tango, which is a totally retired smell, so is Paradise Petals at this point. This is so good, you guys. This is like creamy summertime orange Tangelo coconut milk. It's really bright. It's really happy. I do miss this. I've got a couple of clams left because if it shows up in a flash sale, I just scoop it up. And then one that I think this might have been my last clam, Summer Soleil. This is super soft, really cranky and difficult to get it to perform, but it's like marshmallow, pineapple, and coconut. It is so good. Oh, so I used the whole clam, loaded up all the warmers in my Florida room, and I closed the doors. I had it for a whole day. Closed the doors to go to bed. The next morning I opened it up, and it was perfect. This is a bar that's very hard to smell, but when you get it just right, it is heavenly. And so I don't know that we'll ever see that voted back again. If we do, I will buy more. It's a poor performer, but you get it just right, and it's amazing. So the marshmallow is soft. The pineapple and the coconut are soft, and it's just heavenly, creamy goodness. So then what I'm doing today, because we've got the cruddy weather, is totally fall. And one of my kids came out and she said, "Smells like fall today, Mom." And I said, "Yeah, I was just in the mood, and it's cold and it's drizzly and it's overcast." So I reached for Pretty and Plum, which is a beautiful scent that we've had pop up in flash sales. It was only in our fall winter catalog once. If you like sweet plum pastry, this to me is a little bit more interesting and sophisticated cousin. So this has black coconut and sort of a pastry smell, but not as heavy, not as like kitchen tart kind of a deal, like a tart or a pie. This is a little bit more like maybe a cream tart where you've got a graham cracker crust and then you put the fruit and the creamy filling inside. But it's really good and it's warm and cuddly. And I really enjoy it. So I think I have one more full clam because, like I said, I got it in a flash sale bundle, a couple of them last year. It was so good. So then in the front room, I've got Blackcurrant and Plum going. This was a new release last fall. We didn't talk about it a lot as consultants. I think it kind of flew under people's radar. It's very elegant. I keep saying that in the fruit category, this reminds me a little bit of Vanilla Oud, and it still does because this has ebony, like a ebony wood that's underneath the very tailored, very almost sharp and polished fruit. This isn't juicy and gooey like the one that I was just talking about, or sweet plum pastry. This is a totally different smell. This smells sophisticated. It smells like a very nice house that someone had just cleaned everything. You think of wood, you think of like fancy furniture, dark finishes, just great bar. And for some reason, that's what I wanted today. And then in the kitchen, and I guess these don't go together, but I don't care, I put in a lot of cranapple crumble because I also wanted that deep, cozy fruit scent, which this will give you. This one was also a new release last fall, and I do consider it a little weird because it has this strange mixture of notes that don't quite go together. But I knew I would want it midsummer. I just, after I've melted wax for so many years, you just kind of know you're going to get in these weird cravings. So the cranberry, the apple, the whipped cream, and the allspice makes a strange but very homey, fruity smell, and it's exactly what I wanted today, and it just made me really happy. So what was I doing in the basement and the bedrooms? Now, in the basement, I took one for the team because I had to finish reviewing all of our Bring Back My Bars. And you know what? I'm missing the Ghostly Greetings clam. I should have put this in here. I melted it just for like half a day so I could review it. And that was out here in the front room. That would go beautifully, actually, with the Blackcurrant and Plum. If you pick up Ghostly Greetings, and if Blackcurrant and Plum happens to come back this fall, those two would be amazing together. So anyway, Cherry Vanilla is the one I was taking one for the team on in the basement. This beast has gone in my basement for 4 or 5 days, and it just keeps on going. And of course, you get more cherry at first, and then over time, you get more of the white chocolate and the almonds. So I've got 6 cubes left. Once in a blue moon, I will put this in the basement, but I just don't love it. It's a bar where I go down and I think this is intriguing, and if I'm just going to run through the space and go to the laundry room, I'm okay with it. But it just isn't one like some of the others that I've been showing you where I just want to bathe in it and I want to just, enjoy myself. So another thing that I did have going downstairs for BBMB was Painted Leaves. This is fabulous, and for the right people, Cherry Vanilla is good. Although I have even heard that people that like maraschino sugar cookie don't like cherry vanilla. And so I thought if you liked one, you'd like the other. Who knows? Painted Leaves. Gorgeous. Sharp. Was great in my basement, I will say. There are certain scents that I cannot do upstairs that are great in that larger, cooler space where this scent has a lot of space to spread out. And I think that the just natural sort of whiffs of basement. I mean, not bad. It's not funky or too moist down there, but the basementiness kind of changes smells, usually in a positive way if I don't care for them upstairs. Anyway, this is great. I have a couple random clams of this kicking around because it comes back often enough. I will have enough to enjoy for the next couple falls. Really good with the blue spruce and the pine and just this golden sharp woods. So then in bedrooms, I know one of my kids was doing White Amber Antique, which I love, and I haven't been melting that lately, and I really need to. Going back to what I like to pair with certain things, I did that whole white florals rant. This seems really weird, guys, but I like this in alternate warmers, not mixed together. Alternate warmers with soft plumeria, because they claim there's teak wood in the soft plumeria, and it's very sweet and strong, and this checks that. Balances it. It's a weird combination, but I love them together. So I should probably do that next week. Anyway, that was going in one of the bedrooms, and it was great. Sweet Pea and Vanilla was going in one of my kids' rooms just for the BBMB wrap-up, and you know, it is what it is. It's super sweet. It's got the raspberry, the vanilla, and the sweet pea. For me, this is just not a bar that I love. Does it smell nice? Yes, but it's not exciting to me. It's so generic. So that one is usually a pass for me. Another thing that I was melting was the end of a bar of Maui Mist. Now, here's a bar a lot of people hate. They cannot do it because it smells like cigarette smoke to them. I don't get that. I get the incense. This is the weirdest bar. It's got like lilac, incense, vanilla, lavender. No, it's lilac. Very odd, but I've enjoyed it. But I think this is probably the end of my stash. I won't cry that I don't have more, but it's a cool bar that I enjoy on occasion. I finished up a little bit of Mandarin Zest in my bedroom. This is just a really nice light bar. We had this for Easter collection or it was for Valentine's. I don't remember which. I think it was Valentine's. Anyway, I got a stack. I didn't club it for the long haul, but I got a stack, and it's very nice. Just really light, citrusy, slightly floral scent. Good for a bedroom. Another thing I was finishing up was a couple cubes of Desert Rock and Citron. This is Father's Day. It's a nice bar. It's an inoffensive bar, but it's boring. I just don't love it. It's warm and slightly cologne-y. And I have said that this reminds me of my brother Matthew. I'm not saying that my brother is boring. He is a gentle and sweet and amazing man. But this scent, there are other masculine scents that I like better. And then last but not least, both in the basement and in my bedroom, because today is kind of overcast, I'm doing a lot of Quiver, which was a really interesting, musky, old lady floral scent that some people hate that was in our last BBMB. I really like it, and I just wanted that sort of subtle, sultry, it's got some tuberose and muskiness. I just wanted that today. It was just the mood I was in. So that's everything I've been getting through, and I want to thank everyone who has subscribed to my channel recently. All the new people that I've been interacting with when it comes to BBMB always brings in a new group of people. I've enjoyed all of you with your questions. Some of you have asked enough questions. We've moved to Instagram. You're welcome to private message me there, and some of you have even become customers. So thank you very, very much for your support of me and my channel and everything that we are doing with Elizabeth Scenes and Scents and my website, waftingwonderfulwax.scentsy.us. You guys are amazing. I hope you're enjoying your BBMBs. And in a couple weeks, or less than, no, in a couple weeks, Mr. Stitch will be back on 626, and we'll be talking about those things soon. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.